What's going on, everybody? Gonna give this a little second to kind of load up here on YouTube. Gonna go live for just a little bit, maybe about 45 minutes to an hour here. Gonna kind of watch the market. So this morning, first things first, I'm gonna start off by saying the price action this week has been absolutely hasn't been the best, right? So price action has not been the best this week. We had CPI numbers that kind of came out. We had some Fed speakers kind of talking this week on and off throughout the day. And then we also kind of had those PPI numbers, which really absolutely tanked the market and killed all short positions for this morning by taking out those ranges. I'm just kind of looking here at the screen. Let me know if it's extremely blurry on your guys' end, because on my end, my screen looks atrocious. So let me know what that looks like for you guys. Trying to get that fixed in the meantime. But what I'm looking at here, Tesla did have some news here on, I believe 300,000 cars recalls. So it had a very aggressive kind of level there. And on the Evolution Traders community in the Discord, I kind of put in a level prior to that news coming out that I was looking at to the short side, which I did take for a bit of a ride down, maybe just about a couple of points there. What I was looking at, I'm trying to find that level that I put in here, so I can give you guys a kind of a Tesla bounce off the demand, off the day's demand. If loses 218.87 is a short position. So if we kind of look at 213.87, you can see it right here in this area. I hope you guys can see that. So let me know how blurry that actually is on your guys' screen. I have no idea why it looks like that on my end. But this is a 200-day moving average here, 200 EMA, the 50 SMA here. If we did get below that area, had room to flush into the next demand zone, which we actually came down tagged to a T. So we are starting to lose here again, and I might want to retake this short position as we are power trending down below the 5 SMA. So let me kind of get set up here and exactly see what is going on here. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, it actually looks good. I have no idea why it looks so blurry on my screen. Showing up on YouTube pretty good though. So what we're looking at here on Tesla, looking at the market to try to bounce here, a little bit of a double bottom here on Amazon, a little bit of a 20 SMA hold on the 5-minute time frame here. Apple has been strong. Apple's on a daily breakout here. Great bounce here on Apple off the 20 SMA. For all you scalpers, you have to look at it. Institutional traders, they're going to be buying at demand. They're going to be selling at supply. A lot of time, retail traders look too short when we're going down, and that's how you end up getting trapped and getting shaken out of your position here. Now, Tesla, on the other hand, is dealing with that news. Like I said, the 300,000 cars recall, whatever it was, right? I mean, I'd have to pull up, exactly what the news was on Tesla. Something about recalls ended up shooting down, but the level that I was putting on prior to that news was this here. You can see this 213, upper 213 range here, had a lot of room down to our LR50, which is our next demand zone. Came down, tagged it to a T, bounced up. So again, you have to look at it. Your institutional hedge fund traders, they're going to be shorting once we confirm the loss of this demand zone, and they're going to be taking profits into the next demand zone, okay? And then here, you're going to immediately be flipping bias, and you're going to be buying back into supply. Look at how this works here. Bounce off demand, run right into supply. You cover your position here, you short it back down into demand here, and then now you're kind of just sitting, right? What are we doing here? We're sitting here kind of consolidating. Are we going to confirm the new lows here of 209.71? If we do start to confirm those lows of 209.71, you might have a little bit more room down. But if we do get back up over the 5 SMA, which is what I'm looking for, a little quick scalp here, might use 210.25 as my stop here and kind of buy if we can kind of pop over the previous candle's high here and get over this 5 SMA here. Look to take it for a very quick scalp. Again, momentum is down on Tesla with that news, so I want to be very, very cautious and careful. We do have Apple pushing high of day here, Amazon kind of getting rejected at its 5 SMA on the 5-minute time frame. You do have Nvidia kind of popping up as well, taking out the previous 2 candles here. If Nvidia can get over 224.23, does have room to pop, maybe about 50 cents there. So keep an eye on that. For all of you scalpers, you got about a 50-cent move on Nvidia if we can get over that 10 SMA here. So still currently just kind of watching and waiting for what's going on here with Tesla. Do we kind of confirm going down? You know, are we going to pop and get a little bit of breath here? Market kind of just drifting right now, so we're really not doing too much besides floating. So definitely kind of keep that in mind. Would love to hear what you guys have traded today. Kind of see what you guys are getting into, looking to take this Tesla long here if we can kind of get over that mark. Just in, Biden's going to speak about aerial objects at 2 p.m. So we got Mr. President going to talk about what's going on here with these, you know, crazy UFOs or whatever they're dealing with in the sky, right? So again, kind of just waiting and hanging out here. I want to see if Tesla can pop this supply here. If it can pop this supply, potentially, you know, we've got room from 211, 50s, maybe up to 212.50. So maybe about $1 room there on Tesla. If we can get over that supply, you can see here, let me kind of just, let me get my order off the screen here. So you can see here on Amazon, as we popped into this upper supply, big drop here, testing the day's lows. We get a 2 candle pop here into supply, and then we get a rejection, right? So you got a lot of supply here on Amazon as Amazon starting to roll back down. So this is the name of the game, right? When the market is going sideways, when the market is chopping around a lot, you know, your ranges are getting drastically contracted, right? So when your ranges get contracted, it means you don't have a lot of room to kind of sit in these trades. Now, the only people, and I'm not saying the only people, right, but the majority, right, 70-80% of the people who are actually piecing together a day here and trying to make money is people that have capital, people who can day trade, endless trades, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 trades, right? Your scalpers, your guys who are getting in, they're getting out. If you're playing options, you need to wait for the big moves, right? You can't chase every single, you know, setup that's long and every single setup that's short, because you're going to get stopped out. You're going to drain mental equity. You're going to give away profits. You're going to give away money, right? So it's very, very tough, especially when you don't have a large account where you can kind of get into these plays, take 20 cents here, take 15 cents here, take 50 cents there, you know, take $1, right? If you're playing options, you need bigger moves, $1, $2, you know, 150, you know, 250. You need big ranges, right? And in this market this week has not provided a lot of big ranges intraday, other than the fact that the last 2 days, right, or there was 2 days this week, including today, we get a big flush off the open where the market is, you know, down significantly off of something in the morning. And then, you know, you kind of get that opening range where everything kind of washes out for a quick second and then immediately traps and starts to just grind higher all day, right? Just grind higher all day. And then kind of stay floating around. Very, very hard to trade, especially if you're someone that can only afford to take 1 trade on the day or 2 trades on the day. You really can't afford to take a lot of trades, right? So you have to kind of keep that in mind. You know, now there's ways around that. It's, you know, 1, you can either load more money into your account, or 2, if you don't have money to load into your account, you can try to get funded with a prop firm or a hedge fund that's going to allow you to kind of trade here and get in and out, so where you can kind of manage some assets. So, you know, just kind of looking at these markets here as we are testing these lows again. Tesla, if Tesla does start to lose this 209.74, there might be a potential trade here below that 209.74. Just going to kind of keep that on watch here as we are power trending still off this 5 SMA. Market is kind of just going sideways. Apple is our leader of the day here, just going sideways, kind of stuck between the 10 and the 20 here. So just kind of looking at Tesla here, 2-sided trade on Tesla. I was looking for a long for a possible 50-75 cent scalp to the long side over the 5 SMA, but if we can kind of confirm these lows here, Tesla does actually have room down to 207. So that's one thing that we're going to want to be watching for. 210.88 would be my stop on Tesla to the downside here. So if we do confirm, maybe 210.88 would be my stop to the if I go short, right? And this does pop up. I definitely don't want to be in that when it has about $1, you know, potentially $2 to run higher into upper supports here. So kind of just watching here, you know, live in real time. Currently 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here. So again, still kind of getting bought up. You know, Tesla is showing that there is buyers down here at this day's low. There is buyers down here at this LR50. Same thing with everything else. You can look at Amazon here. There is buyers down here at these lows that we kind of put in here at around 910. So still kind of watching Tesla. If we do pop that, my stop loss changes to 210.25 in that area. So going to kind of watch this area here, this 210.34 actually going to give it a little bit of room for slippage here. You know, again, so that's the thing. As a day trader, as a scalper, you don't really have a bias, right? You know, for me, I don't care if Tesla goes up or down. Now, if I was an investor or a long-term swing trader, of course, I'm going to want, you know, nothing but good news, and I'm going to want to hear nothing but great things out of Tesla and Tesla's price action. But as someone who's just looking to make, you know, 30, 50 cents here and there, and kind of pay my bills and put food on the table, you know, I don't really care. All I need is volatility. Now, a lot of times, you know, traders, you know, want volatility, but it's not really volatility that we want. We want big ranges, right? We want ranges not to be contracted. And that's exactly what's happened this week, is ranges have been contracted, right? So as ranges have been contracted this week, price action has been shitty, right? So when price action is shitty, it makes for hard day trading, hard scalping, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. Volatility you do not want, right? And sometimes I hear a lot of, you know, retail traders saying, you know, we need a volatile market, or we like volatility because that's the only way you make money. No, you don't make money in volatility, right? Volatility means that, you know, you're looking to go short and then it pops long. You're looking to go long and then it pops short. That's volatility. Up and down, up and down, up and down is not what you really want to see. Now we want true expansion channels is what we want. We want good average daily true range, and that's kind of why I trade, you know, high beta stocks, and high beta stocks are going to be your NASDAQ 100s, and I do play predominantly the same names each and every single day. I'm going to be playing Apple, Nvidia. I'm going to be watching a SPY in the queue. Don't really trade them, but I watch them to get a good flow of where the overall market is going. Amazon I play, Apple I already said that, Microsoft, Meta, Google very randomly, it moves a little bit slower. Netflix, you know, all of those names, because they have such big average true daily ranges, right? So when you have those big average true daily ranges, you can really make some money to the long side and to the short side on an intraday basis. Now, if we look here at what Nvidia did, kind of came down, barcoded over under this 20 SMA here, and then got this nice pop back over the 10. I was kind of pointed out in the beginning of the video, watch this 10 SMA. If it's able to get over, you do have room about a 50-cent trade there. So it was an excellent 50-cent trade there. You do have Amazon kind of holding at the bottom of the range. You have Apple, which is your leader of the day, kind of holding strong here. Now, when I say leader of the day, is because Apple really hasn't pulled back. It's trading at 156, even though it's only up 68 pennies on the day. It's holding its previous day's high range, right? It's holding up at the top of the area. Everything else kind of really pulled back and then kind of just went sideways and maybe bounced off the bottom, whereas to Apple has kind of just grinded higher and is trading at that top of the range there. So just kind of keep that in mind. And again, Apple has so much weight that it really can sway the market long and short. Again, the 156 in 20 cents has really acted as, you know, a big level on Apple all day here. It's the top of the LR50 channel here. Now, does the day continue to get going? I mean, I don't know. You know, could the day just slowly drift from here? Sure. Could the daily slowly drift to the long side? Of course, right? So if we kind of look, you know, at what we're doing right now, you want to be extra cautious. You want to size down. You want to take profits a lot quicker. Okay. So make sure you're taking profits a lot quicker today. Make sure you're kind of going with whatever the stock you are playing with, whatever the move is. Again, just kind of looking here, but now as it's taken so long for this consolidation on Tesla, now my you know, profit taking zone is shrinking drastically, right? Because of the ranges getting contracted. So even if I do get the pop over 210.93, I'm only looking at, you know, 211.45, you know, which is not a bad move, but it's not the best, right? It's 50 cents here to the top side. It was $1 at one point, but again, as that price action kind of, you know, just hovered around, it really didn't provide a lot of it didn't provide enough time for me to kind of get those profits, right? there's that pop on Tesla there. So again, looking to kind of see what it does here now at the 10 SMA. This completely missed this as this move just kind of exploded. So we need to kind of see now, you know, it needs to really get over this 211.64 for any type of significant push here, as it's going to be a little bit of rejection there. So just going to kind of watch Tesla quickly as the market is still trying to pump higher on all of the names currently here. So Tesla would be coming off of the bottom floor here. We do have a new 5-minute candle that is coming out in 3 minutes time. So again, if we can confirm this green candle that is taking out the last 20 minutes of, you know, kind of consolidation, this would be a potential for a scalp here over 211.64. You do have room into 212.91. That is the bigger trade there. So we're going to kind of keep an eye on Tesla to see. Again, your short position for scalpers and day traders is going to be down here below 209.71 for a quick move. You do have room, maybe about 40-50 cents down to 209.35, which is going to be that lower Bollinger Band. So just kind of keep that in mind, kind of see what Tesla does here. Now, if you do decide to sit in Tesla here, you are going to have to put a tight stop on it. Maybe 210.30s might be an area where you would want to kind of, you know, really monitor this area, right? So the 211s, excuse me, the 211 was going to be that 5-day moving average here. You're getting really pinned here. Price action is going to get very, very congested there. Now your 210.34 is your LR50. This is the area that is held held once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. We lost it twice out of the 4 times, and immediately both times the bulls sucked it back up and they pushed it over there. So buyers are showing on Tesla that we do have buyers stepping in around 209.50s into that 210.50s there. Market is continuing to push. Amazon here coming up to its LR50 kind of channel here, getting back over their 20 SMA. Again, Amazon over 99.91 is going to have a little bit of room to kind of stretch into that 100 area. So kind of keep that on watch. You can see Tesla right now still having a little bit of trouble at this supply zone here. Let's kind of pull up the overall market and go with the S&P 500 here. Let me get this kind of chart loaded up so we can see, you know, what is the S&Ps doing here? Where are we at on the day? S&Ps here. So you can see here on the S&P 500, you see where we kind of came down on that big heavy pullback, you know, into the lower Bollinger Band here, you know, right over this 50 SMA here. That was about, you know, about an hour and a half's time. We got that really nice bounce, and then we got that second retest, right? So anytime we're kind of just barcoding sideways, 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 especially after a move up, right? So if you look at the move up on the S&Ps, we pretty much barcoded sideways from, you know, right around the time of 7:45 a.m. To around 9:20, right? So about an hour and a half sideways, sideways, sideways action. We make this push higher. We get stuffed at supply. And then as we get stuffed at supply, we pull right back down into the barcode range. Now, if bulls are there and if buyers are there, they're going to hold this range. If there's more sellers in this area, what you would want to see is now this rising support on the 50 SMA on the 5-minute to get broken, and then from here would be your short play on the confirmation down to around 409.92. That would be potential, but bulls as of now are showing, as they're pulling back into this area of consolidation with a lot of price action, there is buyers that are in here and they did step up. So again, Tesla is getting rejected on the first try to reclaim here of this 10 SMA on the 5. Again, like I said, it does have room up to 212.79, so kind of keep that in mind, you know, as we're kind of getting rejected here this first time. So if Tesla does start to really break below and start to lose this area here, which is at 210.30s, you know, then maybe we do have room to kind of come down to 209. You can see the S&Ps kind of getting rejected as well, so kind of keep that in mind here. Be very, very careful, especially when the market is choppy like this. It's not the best action, right? It's not the best action for us day traders, as you know, moves can sort of, you know, kind of give you that little bit of a tease, right? It's like going out on a date and you get that tease, right? Everything looks good, and then you go home, and then you're left holding the bag. That's what the market has kind of been like as of lately this week, right? So again, I'll be the first to admit it. Few days this week, at least two or three, or at least two of the days this week, the market in the midday, afternoon, after lunchtime has completely destroyed and chopped me up. Not in a sense to where I'm losing all types of money, right? Where I'm not blowing up accounts or nothing. But what I'm saying is I'm taking a trade, I'm taking a little piece of the pie, and then another setup presents itself, and then I'm giving it right back. And then I go down a little bit, and then the next trade I kind of make it all back. It's just very, very frustrating. It's mentally frustrating, right? So far for me, the best trades that have kept me green on the week have been the trades within the first hour. We get that big flush, and then we kind of get that nice bounce, right? And I kind of take those longs off the bottom floor, make a shit ton of money with the option side of things, and then kind of go over to the equity side and kind of take my small scalps here and there to kind of piece together a day. Again, right now, currently sitting long in Tesla, 100 shares, nothing major. So what we're looking at here is the bottom demand zone as my stop. I'm looking at around 210.30s as a stop loss. Again, will I get stopped out? It's entirely possible, but the one thing that I do try to kind of preach to everyone, especially if you want to do this long term, is we have no control over the outcome of what happens, right? We push our chips to the table. All our job is as a trader is to manage risk. That's it, right? Because one thing that nobody knows for certain is, what is the market going to do? How many times have you found a trade where it looks perfect and everything seems like it's going to go your way, and you get into the trade and immediately it doesn't go your way? How many times has that happened to you? How many times have you bought long and immediately it's down? How many times have you went short and immediately it bounces on you? How many times, right? So the market has, is going to do what the market is going to do. We're finally starting to get this pop up here on Tesla. I would be looking for like a 212 and a quarter on this play here, if it can give it to me. We'll see here. SPY is trying to push up into 412.44, but again, like I said, that's the only thing we do not have control over. But what we do have control over is when we hit the buy and sell, right? We have control over our buys and sells. Now, if you let your emotions and your mindset and your brain get to you, and you don't have any control over your buys and sells, and you don't have any control over the market, what do you have control over? At that point, you are gambling. At that point, you are hoping, you're praying, you're dreaming that something happens, right? Again, this Tesla has turned into Stressla for me this week. It needs to just go. I like when Tesla, puts in the move and it goes. I hate when it chops around, because especially on a stock like Tesla, we don't have a lot of time for this thing to kind of chop around. Either it needs to go now, or I just need to get the hell out of the trade. Again, I'll probably move my stop loss up, to 11s. From the 210.30s here. I just want to see if we can get this pop into the 212.64. Don't know if we're going to get it. Only up about 43 cents on the trade here. Might just take the profits here. Got my hand on the trigger button here. Because I just don't want to mess around the market. Tesla's still, it's coming off the bad news. We do have the SPYs getting rejected at that supply zone here. So if Tesla doesn't give me something within, on this new candle that's forming here at 10:45 a.m., I would probably just cut the trade here. Currently up 37 cents on the trade. Not much, which is about $30 on that one lot size here. Again, kind of just dipping down a little bit here. Gonna give it just a little bit of room. Again, like I said, my stop loss is all the way down at around 210 here. So now currently even on this trade here, as I did give away those cents, but that it's to be expected. SPY is pulling back into the 20 SMA, which is going to get that nice kind of, as soon as the overall indexes get that kind of pullback into major support, your stocks that follow, kind of can grow aggressively, and depending on how much room down they have to their supply zones is going to kind of give you that overall picture of how much they're going to actually go down. Going to watch this very closely. Probably just going to cut it here, because that's the thing. I do have control over my buys and sells. When I don't like something, I don't like something, and if I don't like the feeling that I have when I'm in the trade, I get the hell out of the trade. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If I do not like the way I feel when I'm in the trade, I just get the hell out. And if we do start to crack below this 10 and 5-day moving average, I will just get the hell out of the trade, because you know, it is what it is. There's always going to be another setup. That's the way you're going to have to kind of look at it when you are trying to learn how to day trade, and you do want to day trade, right? You have to be in control. The most successful traders, I don't care, and you guys can't even see my Tesla trade here because I need to zoom it this way. You guys need to be in control of what you guys are doing, right? Anyone can learn how to read price action. Anyone can learn how to, you know, draw chart patterns and technical analysis. What people can't do, okay, what people can't do is control their emotions. And if you cannot control your emotions, I'm just going to get out of the Tesla trade there, only up about 20 cents on that trade. Again, I just didn't like it. I just didn't like it. And as I say that, it's going to pop up here and run me into my profit taking zone at around 212.77, but that's the name of the game. Are we going to slide with the announcement of UFOs? Okay, someone in Discord asking for sliding announcement on UFOs. You know, anything's possible. What do you guys think about these UFOs? What do you think about these, you know, these, whatever the hell's flying around in the sky? You guys believe in the UFOs? Do you think we got aliens? Do you think it's China? What is it? Is it Russia? Is it our own government here? Look at Tesla. We're going to run into that 212.79. You know, yeah, it is what it is. So it is what it is, right? It is the name of the game. That's the name of the game. The name of the game is to control your emotions. The name of the game is to control your buys and sells. That's it, right? We can see the level that it bounced off of. Anyone with two eyes or even one eye, as long as you can see halfway out of that one eye, you can see that we came into support here. You can see that these two wicks, if lost, have room down. So if you push your chips to the table and if you decide to take that risk, where potentially are you looking at a profit taking zone? Now for me, because it was taking out the 5 SMA here, I want to get to the next macro on the 5-minute time frame, you know, the biggest area that's going to act as demand, which is that 20 SMA, right? And you can see obviously we're running right into the 20 SMA here. We do have the SPY kind of ticking back up. SPY is running into the 200 EMA. Okay, so what you're looking at here is I'm gonna punch this in. I'm gonna go long. If we lose this low, I've got to get out of the trade. Now, here's what someone, you know, who is inexperienced or someone who doesn't, you know, understand, right? The game, because, you know, this is a business and a serious one, but it's a game, right? This is a game, and it's an emotional game and it's a mental game. And the stock market is an online marketplace that is basically playing off of people's raw and real emotions, and your P&L and your trading, what it's going to say about you is how well are you doing inside the ring, right? Inside the ring is your P&L. Inside the ring is, you know, how much you're profitable on the day. How much did you blow? Did you blow an account? And you can see Tesla here closing over this 20 SMA, but that's exactly what it is, right? So if you can't get into this trade here in control to stop loss out, if we did lose that 209.75, then you now get into a fight or flight mode internally, which is going to raise those emotions, and it's going to cause you to, you know, now be holding into drawdown, hoping that something's coming back. And then you're going to get angry and you're going to get emotional and you're going to start revenge trading and you're going to start, you know, holding losses. And that's what happens a lot of times. People do not want to expect, a lot of traders do not want to expect that they're wrong. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. There's nothing wrong with losing. I can't get it through enough people's heads. You know, there's this game, you're going to lose a lot. Out of 1,000 trades, you're probably going to lose 600 or 700. You know, out of 1,000 trades, you might lose 500. You might break even, right? You might win 600. But what I'm saying is you're going to lose, out of 1,000 trades, you're going to lose hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trades. Now, if you allow those hundreds of trades to kind of just run away and get too big because you're not respecting a stop loss, or you're too emotional, or you're too angry, you're not going to make it, right? I talked to someone recently, okay, that was running a hedge fund in New York, or, you know, it was a two-man fund, and they managed, you know, $20-30 million in assets for a couple of private investors. And their strategy, their edge, right? Because every strategy, every strategy that someone has, whatever strategy you're playing, right? And I have my own strategy. I play 2 or 3 different strategies, but my strategy, it could be different from someone else's. Does that mean that it's better or worse? No. Every strategy is going to work as long as there's some type of mathematical edge that has been back tested on the strategy. You will do okay. But to get back to the point, this person that I talked to, they ran, a very, very small fund, $20-30 million worth of assets, private assets. And it was a 2-man fund. Their strategy only hit at a 22% win rate. Okay. 22% win rate. And they were still profitable at the end of the year. So profitable that they ran this fund for 5 years and they have now retired and live offshore. Okay. So what I'm going to tell you is that you do not need to win 7, 8, 9, 10 trades in order to be profitable. They were basically winning 2, 3 trades per every 10 trades taken. Now you may be asking yourself, how in the hell can someone win 2 or 3 trades out of 10 and still be profitable? Because their strategy, they're micro scalpers, hyper scalpers, if that's what you want to call it, with extremely large size, right? So again, keep in mind, large size. That's another thing. You're playing 1,000 lots of Amazon, 1,000 lots of Apple, 1,000 lots of Tesla. You get a 10-20 cent move. That's a hell of a trade, right? So the point I'm trying to make is that out of the 7 or 8 trades that they would lose, if that trade did not go in their favor and do what they wanted it to do, like right now, they're out. So their losses were a very, very small fraction, but their wins, when it did work and they got into the setup and it worked, they're playing with such massive size that they were able to take those profits very, very quickly and make a good chunk of the change. But if the trade didn't work, they're out almost immediately and they have no feeling, right? You can't have feeling in this business. And I can't stress that enough. You can't have feelings in this business. There is no time for having feelings. You want to have feelings, go buy a cat or go buy a dog. Could get a goldfish. You want to care for something. You can't care about these bars on the chart. You just can't, right? You can't. The moment you get invested, the moment you marry a stock, the moment you marry your strategy, the moment you marry your bias, right? You lose. And I'm looking at Nvidia here over the 200 SMA here on the 5-minute time frame. I need to pull up the hourly chart to see exactly how much room does Nvidia have to run here on the hourly time frame as we're approaching that. Nvidia is looking good for a long here. Again, Nvidia is going to look very, very good for a long. You can see if we can start to confirm that 225.39. This has got nothing but airspace here. I'm going to go ahead and alert the room here. So if we kind of look at the 1 hour time frame on Nvidia, we pulled in the pre-market. We came all the way down and almost tested the 200 SMA. Can you guys see this? This is a 200 SMA. Bulls immediately bought this back up. We barcoded sideways for 2 hours here, reclaimed this 50 SMA here. The first time put in that high, pulled back to the 50 SMA, and now we are pumping higher here. If we can get over this candle here, which is sitting at around 225.30s, Nvidia might potentially have some room to go green on the day, guys. So just kind of keep that in mind. Nvidia could potentially go green on the day if we can kind of get that move here. And I'm kind of looking at Apple just barcoding sideways. And it's actually at this time of the day, I'm probably going to start to pull up bigger levels here, use the 1 hour time frame. That way we can kind of get bigger macro levels here. Again, look at what Apple's doing here, testing the previous hour's high. We got that Bollinger Band sitting here at around 156.23. Over 156.23, he's got about another 50 cents up. Tesla, I should have stayed in this damn long. Tesla, Tesla is, if I was in this, I'd be up, probably 2 points on this, but it is what it is. Tesla confirming, trying to close back over this 20 SMA here. Tesla does have room to kind of punch back in 213.75. Keep that on watch here. Gonna look at the SPYs hourly and kind of see what is the SPYs doing on the hourly time frame here. We're looking at the SPY here. So SPY still has some upper supply here. Let me move this. I understand you guys can't see it. Let me move that. Nvidia getting very, very close here. Upper range is getting over the 50 SMA here on the SPYs, 412.45. Over 412.45 is going to have room to punch into 413.35 on the S&Ps. Nvidia getting very, very close here. And I'm actually going to take off, what stock am I done trading for the day? Apple. I'm going to go to Nvidia on this chart, and I'm going to use a 5-minute here so I can get some stop losses kind of mapped out here on Nvidia. Maybe stop loss here on Nvidia 224.37. That's $2 down. That's too much risk. Maybe we go with like a 224.70 area. 224.70 area stop on Nvidia is the 200 EMA. So if I do the 224.70 area, it's giving me about a 70-cent risk on the overall play here. If we can punch over the 200 SMA, okay? So if we can punch over this 200 SMA here, you know, Nvidia could potentially turn green on the day depending on what the overall markets wants to do. And what I'm actually going to do here, instead of watching the SPYs, because I'm looking to play a NASDAQ stock, a tech stock, I'm going to be looking at the NASDAQ futures here so I can kind of see what we're doing on the future side of things. So look at what we're doing here on the NASDAQ futures. Bounced off this 50 SMA here on the 1 hour time frame, barcoded over at 8 a.m., barcoded over and under at 9 a.m., kind of retested at 10 a.m., and now we're punching higher here. So, you know, if the NASDAQ really gets going here, 12,674, could it punch all the way into 12,713? Could actually go green on the day here, back up towards this 20 SMA. Again, guys, left-hand corner, keep an eye on this Nvidia for me. If we can kind of get over these highs here and confirm this 5-minute candle here over the 20 SMA, I definitely will go long on that. I mean, this over this hour candle here, which is on this side here, is going to be that 5-minute candle. So what I need to see is get us over 225.40 and then probably use 225 as a stop. Maybe give this, you know, 40-50 cents and kind of see how we do on that. This guy. So what we need to see here is a continuation on this play here on Nvidia, looking to get on this Nvidia 225.38. Andre is in AMD's. I'm not even looking at AMD. Let's see what AMD's got. I'll take Tesla off the Tesla off. Tesla what? Or AMD what? Short? What are we doing here? What are we in here? AMD what? Long or short? AMD sitting at bottom demand zone here. AMD relative to Nvidia is weaker, right? So if we kind of look at what AMD is doing on the 5-minute time frame up here, short. Okay, good. AMD, what we're looking at the 5-minute time frame here is relatively weaker. This is down at the bottom LR50, and you have the Nvidia punching up towards a 200 SMA. Two different plays, same semiconductor space, going two different ways. So what you want to do is be careful if Nvidia starts to pop, right? You could have a little bit of a bite back here on AMD, kind of going back up. So, you know, be careful on that. Again, let me get my Nvidia's loaded here. Again, what did I say I wanted to do here on Nvidia's stop loss? Maybe a stop loss on Nvidia below 225. Let's punch that in on Nvidia here. Gonna give it a stop loss right around that 225. We'll adjust this, you know, based on, you know, what the price action wants to do, but are getting that pump here. So what I'm really looking at here macro wise is I need this Nvidia to kind of get over that previous hour's high, right? get over this linear or over this Bollinger Band, right? So you can see the first attempt here, the pop over the 20 SMA was good, valid, right? We got that pop into the upper Bollinger Band here, 225.50s, 225.40s. Okay, so what you need to see is a continuation. What we need to see is this hour candle that just came out here, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We need to get it to go now. You can look at the NASDAQ futures here, kind of getting a bump off of this rising 5 SMA on the 1 hour time frame here. You can see NVIDIA kind of fighting and flirting, trying to get higher, right? So that's exactly what we need to kind of get back up and over on NVIDIA. Again, kind of gonna give this a very tight stop here, 225 maybe. You know, maybe a more solid stop would be 224.50. Again, you know, 224.50, gonna give myself $1 risk on that, only playing 2 lots on this. So again, you know, I don't really feel like risking that much this late in the day, especially when I am green on the day. So I'm gonna kind of just play it smart and play it slow here. Kind of just want to piece together a trade, piece together another small little trade here. But again, like if you kind of just look at what's going on here on the hourly candlesticks on NVIDIA, you know, if NVIDIA can punch this, right? If NVIDIA can, you know, bulls can kind of step in, you know, I'm probably going to get stopped out here if we do drop below that 225. But if the bulls can kind of punch over this, you know, NVIDIA has a very good shot to go green on the day. Very good shot to go green on the day. Now, could it happen? Maybe, right? Could it happen? Maybe, maybe not. You know, I am 34 cents away from getting stopped out here, but again, just kind of flirting with that 200 SMA. This hour candle did just open up. Again, look at this AMD play here, kind of came into, lost this level here, and then immediately bulls stepped in and bought this off of demand. This demand has been a demand zone all morning, right? Anytime we get into this demand, it's a cover your shorts and go long. We come into this demand, cover your shorts and go long. Come into this demand, cover your shorts and go long. Come into this demand, cover your shorts and go long. So looking to see if NVIDIA can get over this previous hour's candle here. If I can put this price action kind of getting snagged at that 225.40s area. 225.40s is going to act as that resistance. Kind of the first initial move here on the video was a punch over, put in the high, and then kind of pull back, right? So pulling back here, 225.25. Again, tight stop on this. Gonna give it a quarter and see what we do if we can get over this area. Again, if NVIDIA can't punch here, then, you know, this is just setting up for the rest of the day, you know, which is 2 hours into the close, you know, kind of just a barcode fade into the day. You know, would really have to hold that 225.04, 224.81. 224.84 is our rising 10-day moving average. Let's see how quickly we can get this 10-day moving average to kind of bump up here, act as a little bit more support. So really looking for this to kind of get over the 200 SMA on the video. Again, if you are watching AMD or playing AMD, you're running into that support or that supply zone at around 82.70, and you do have 82.77. If AMD gets over 82.77, it's going to have room to punch all the way into 82.86. I know it's only 10 points. It just depends on your position sizing, how much you're actually playing, you know, but anything over 82.88 on AMD does have room to stretch into 83. Again, your day's low here so far on AMD is 82.28. You know, it would have to come back down through this LR50 here and kind of give that up and then have the rest of the market kind of wash out. You know, if you're looking at the NASDAQ futures, you know, currently down 61 here, kind of just not doing nothing, right? We had that big flush off the open. We kind of just have been staircasing higher here. NVIDIA is going to be stopping me out very, very quickly here. 225.26 again. Like I said, my stop loss is at 225 even. You know, it's just having a hard time. You do have the 5 SMA kind of rising, trying to act as support. There goes Nvidia here right below that 5 SMA. Now you do have that support sitting at the LR50 at 225.05. So 225.05, my stop loss is just below that 225.05. So if this does decide to break below the 225.05, it will stop me out. Probably the stronger level support is 224.84, right? 224.84 is probably the stronger level if, you know, if the market's going to get going. Really going to keep an eye on the futures here, down 66. So don't want to give it, you know, and that's okay. Like that's the name of the game, right? I don't really want to give this, you know, too much room this late in the day. I don't want to give this, you know, 1, 2, 3 points this late in the day. You know, either it goes or it doesn't, right? You know, and that's the thing. The later you trade in the day, the more, you know, less likely the moves tend to go, right? So 225.13 getting awfully close here. 224.05, 222. This is going to stop me out here, and got stopped out on that. So again, small paper cut loss here on Nvidia. Again, as the market does pull, you can see here futures are coming into that support. So again, now on the day here, 345.33 on the day. That Nvidia trade was a $43 loss. Nothing much, right? Only playing one lot size, so took a 43-cent hit on that potential loss. Like I said, maybe the 224, the rising 10-day moving average here on the 5-minute was a firmer support, that 224.77. So maybe like you know, the stop loss at around 224.69 gave it a little bit more room here. That's, you know, the name of the game. I will still, you know, look to try to get in over 225.53 if the market does want to punch a little bit higher here. Again, we're just going to kind of monitor that. We're just going to kind of monitor the price action and kind of see, you know, how we're doing here. But yeah, overall in the day, I mean, not too bad, right? Not too bad, Lewis. So, you know, this morning played some options, took a little piece of Tesla, 2 or 3 trades here off of Tesla, off that initial washout. Ended up getting long using that initial kind of opening range as the stop loss. Kind of took those options contracts long, you know, pieced them out there. $300 winner on one, $450 winner on another. And then what else did I play here? Played some Apple. So Apple was really the big winner on the day for me on the option side of things. Then kind of went away from that, the options, kind of locked in those profits. You know, anytime I go up where, you know, where you can consider it a good day, right, I stop, right? Especially when it comes to the option side of things. Then I'll get into my shares and equities here, and then I'll kind of just chip away, right? I'll just continue to chip away. So as of right now, on the equity side of things, we are currently positive $345.33. Market is pulling back in again. Yeah, so I don't, like this late in the day, I don't really want to take too much oversized trades. If I can take 20-30 cents this late in the day out of a couple of plays, I will look to do that. But again, yeah, I don't want to get too carried away, especially when you're green on the day. So market is coming back down. I wonder if Andre is still sitting in the short. So yeah, good short, right? Good short. We did come through the demand zone here. We lost it, right? As we got this pump up, I went long, right? I went long on the video, which was taking out the previous hour's highs. I was wrong. I got stopped out, no biggie. And then, you know, he's still currently sitting in these shorts, hopefully making some cash on it. So, you know, for the AMD play here, if we can come down and kind of lose the 82.29, you know, yeah, potentially maybe the day's got more room to stretch. But as of right now, the market is kind of just, it's been doing the same thing it's been doing all week. You know, the market this week has essentially just been in a fucking range, right? It's just been in this block range. So if you can take the market this week and you put it in this range here, the market has went from the top of the range to the bottom, okay? And then it barcodes, and then it goes to the middle of the range, and then barcodes back down, and then comes, you know, big drastic bounce up to the top of the range, and everyone thinks that it's going to break out, and then it comes right back down in barcodes. So it's been, you know, it's been an absolute shit show if you're kind of looking for those expansion channels and you're looking for that, you know, looking for the room to kind of make, you know, big money. Right now is not the time to make huge money. Right now is the time to kind of chip away. You have to chip away. You have to use tight stop losses, and you have to kind of just, you know, bank in those 40-50 cent trades and wait for better days, right? Wait for better days. Today is your first green day at 4%. made a full $1.50. That's a hell of a day. That's a hell of a day, right? What did you trade? You know, especially in a market like this, we had PPI data that came out this week. We had CPI data. We had all types of Fed dudes and gals talking, you know, spitting nonsense left and right, which I never really keep up on any of that nonsense that they're always talking. You know, of course it's going to sway the market, but you know, it is what it is. It's still got to come through my technical levels regardless. Looking at NVIDIA here to kind of lose this 20 SMA here, 224.47. Does have room down to 224.11, so you maybe got about 30 cents there for a quick scalp for all you scalpers. So I think Andre's probably got that AMD trade kind of sewed up. Let's see what Tesla is doing here. Tesla has been stressla this week. Tesla has really, you know, provided good opportunities to the long side, and then it barcodes and goes back and forth for hours at a time, driving me nuts. Tesla did have a nice bounce here off that demand zone. I initially got short here. Where was it? Below the 213.95. I took the short below the 219.35. I was looking to cover into the next demand zone. Covered. It actually played it perfectly. And there was a split second where I thought maybe buy this demand zone for the potential bounce, right? So we did come here and then we lost it, right? So when we came down here this second time, I was thinking, man, if I use these 2 wicks here, you know, as my max pain and kind of get long, actually played out to be a hell of a trade. You know, didn't take it, never going to catch them all, but you know, that's why you have to respect technicals, and that's why, you know, when it comes to trading, you really can't, you know, give a shit if you're right or wrong. You know, nobody knows what the market's going to do. Nobody. All we know is technical levels. All we know is what is our edge. All we know is what strategy are we going to play, right? What are we going to play? You know, great. TRKA, Matic, Sober, Box L, great, hell of a day, right? That's a hell of a day, right? So yeah, so you know, anytime you have a good day like that, right? 4% made on the total account today is you know, fantastic, especially you know, like I said, when the ranges are contracted, right? Look to keep building on that. You look to keep building on that. You know, because it's very easy. It's very easy. Here's what's easy. It's very easy to get carried away, take a good day, right, like that, and then come back in, punch into something else, and get completely blown out, right, for the sake of taking a trade, right? That's why when I, especially options, right, and my options account funds my life, you know, 90%, right? 90% of my income comes from trading, day trading options. So anytime I have a good day trading options, anytime I can make, you know, my salary, right? Which for me, it could be different from you, but you know, I have car payments, I've got a mortgage, I've got a son, I've got, you know, hobbies that I like to do. Anytime I could fund that on a day making options, I'm out, right? I'm not going to even mess around. There's no reason to even fuck around when you make a good day. So would you recommend options for a small account like you? I don't know anything about it. It depends on what account size you have, right? Market's pulling back a little bit. It depends on what account size you have. Tesla might be a good short position here, 213.50 as a stop. Yeah, it depends on how much you want to load up into that options account. How much would you think about loading up? What to you is a $30? No, you're going to get blown out. You're going to get blown out because the type of stock, the type of options contracts that you can play, maybe you might be able to find a particular contract where you can buy maybe one contract at around 30, 40, 50 bucks. But guess what? If you're wrong, you're blown out. You 213.14. Yeah, you'll be blown out in one trade. So I would definitely try to piece together a little bit more money. Maybe start off with, you know, a few $100, $200-300 might be good. At least with $200 or $300, you can at least afford to take a few trades, right? Test out the strategy. Because I don't even know what options contracts you might be able to buy with $30. Yeah, it's low risk. If you lose it, so what? It's 30 bucks, but you know, I really don't even know what you can afford options wise with 30 bucks. At least in the stocks that I play, because I play a lot of the mega cap stocks, so 1310. Might try to punch this Tesla short here below this support of 212.36. Does have room back down to 210.50. Yeah, so yeah, it's a ton of shit to learn, right? A ton of shit to learn. You know, I would recommend to anyone, it's like this, right? Strategies is going to be the easiest thing to learn. Setups, learning how to read these stupid charts is easy. That's the easy part. Now, learning how to lose is the hard part, because you're going to lose. You're gonna lose. I got a lot of friends who trade for big time prop firms, and a lot of friends who trade, you know, for institutions that I kind of bullshit with on the side. I mean, you know, some of these guys are taking 100, 200, 300 trades a day, and they're losing like half of them, right? So emotionally, how can you deal with that? Emotionally, how are you dealing with that? So here's the problem. Here's the problem with people with small accounts, right? Let's say I'll just use and I punch short into this Tesla here. So let's see, going to give it a stop over the 5 SMA here, which is sitting at around 213-ish. Looking to just take maybe, you know, 40-50 cents off this, depending on how much it has down. It does have room down to 210.46, but here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I'm going to use someone that's got $1,000 account, right? Let's say you have $1,000 account, and you're going to play options contracts that, let's say, cost 250, right? 250. And you have no idea how to handle emotions. You have no idea how to punch out, right? So let's say you got $1,000, you play a $250 options contract. You're wrong right off the bat. Let's say the first 20 minutes of the day, you are completely ass backwards wrong. And you have to sell that position. Now you sell that position, guess what happens? FOMO starts hitting in, right? FOMO starts hitting in because you're looking at everyone else who's still trading. You're looking at everyone else who's still making money. And you're sitting there, you know, with your thumb up your butt, and you're like, well, you know, playing the victim, like, oh, I can't trade anymore. Yeah, so what, right? So what? You know, take another trade, lose another 250 bucks. Your account's going to be blown out in a week, because mentally that's what happens. And that's not just you, me, Todd, Harry, Bob. That's everyone. That's just who we are as human beings. That's the feelings that we're going to get. That's the emotions that we're going to get. So the first thing to kind of master is, if I lose today, I'm okay with losing 200 bucks. I'm okay. Tomorrow there's going to be another trade, and tomorrow make back 100, 200, you know, break even, whatever, and keep it going. The whole idea is to be in the business for a long time, not about this next trade. Who gives a shit about this one trade? It's about what's going to happen 20, 30, 40, 50 trades from now. That's it. AMD hourly. Yeah, I know. I just punched into Tesla short though. Currently up, you know, 43 cents on this. Small size. Probably just take profits here. 50 cents. Not too bad. I want the flush to come down. Shit, give me the $2 down to 210, but you know, it is what it is. Might have to take the 47.50 cents here. 58 cents. Here we go. There's the flush. 83 cents, 85 cents. Let's go. Punch it. Come all the way back down to this demand zone, baby. 210.50. Give it to me in one candle flush. We do have a little bit of support here at 210.89, going back to 1040 here. Give me the damn flush. Just let's go. 92 cents on the trade here. 1-to-1 R on this. I was planning on risking about 75 cents on the overall trade here. Again, let's go. Punch it. 93 cents on the trade. 99 cents on the trade. And give me the flush, baby. Let's go. Boom, 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 boom. Any sort of wick back, I will just immediately sell. Up 120. Up. Yeah, here we go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Boom. I'm just going to punch out, take profits there. Again, like I said, late in the day here, not looking for a whole lot. Again, this could come down, as you've seen on the long. If anyone was watching on the long that I took that got stopped out, right? or I cut because I didn't like it. I didn't like the feel. I didn't like the feel of it when I was shorting or going long, and then I got out, and literally two candles later it ran up $1. This can completely, you know, I sold, took profits here. This can still come down $1, and you know, but it again, like, that's the fucking point. That's the point. Like, who cares, right? You took your money, leave that money for someone else, right? Leave that money for someone else. So right now, 438.33 after commissions on the day here. Not a bad day, piecing this day together. Not a bad day. So Andre is on the AMD, and I could probably actually, Nvidia bouncing off of a demand zone here at 223.72. Tesla, I'm out of this trade, so let's pull up AMD here. AMD took out that last previous wick, 82.29 down to 82.05. Hell of a move. When are you going to take profits on that? You're not going to? What are you swinging for here? Your day's low is at 81. You got a zone between 81.30 and around 81.82, right? 81.30. You got a 70-cent range down here. I'm just going to draw like a demand zone. This demand zone held. So if this demand zone held off of PPI and in the big flush this morning, you know, more than likely it's going to hold again, right? Now we would have to really lose, you know, 81.30, close below 81.30, and then look for the short. Right now you're coming into this to a demand zone. Just take profits on that, you know, just there's, if that's my opinion, right? Now, because let's look at the point here. So we're looking at, you know, 82.05 as the low to come down to 81.85. So what are we really talking about? You know, we're talking about 13 cents. You know, that's $13, right? Per lot. 50, let's call it $15 per lot. That's an extra $30 on the two lots, right? So $30 versus maybe giving back $50-$60 of profit, $80 of profit, depending. I don't know how much you're profitable. I don't know when you got into this trade, but you know, I'm assuming you got into it somewhere in the high 82s, mid 82s. Again, punching down is going to come down into this demand zone. You know, yeah, you got maybe 10-20 cents, right? 10-20 cents on this. So I'm going to take a little break here as I'm getting a call, and I will be back in just a minute.